Welcome to another Backyard Professor video. I'm Kerry Schertz, the Backyard Professor. I'm talking once again about this idea that the Book of Mormon has no meaning. It has nothing in its favor. There's no archaeological proof, historical verification, so on and so forth. Once again, I've covered several interesting literary devices found in the Book of Mormon that were in antiquity, but that aren't in the 19th century literatures around Joseph Smith, the View of the Hebrews, Solomon Spaulding, so on and so forth. In the book Re-Exploring the Book of Mormon by John W. Welch, Donald W. Perry, one of the International Dead Sea Scroll Scholars out of BYU, one of four, BYU has four of them, that's a pretty impressive mark for BYU. Perry is talking about antithetical parallelism in the Book of Mormon. Now, what is that? Alma 5:40 illustrates this. Whatsoever is good cometh from God, and whatsoever is evil cometh from the devil. Now, the writers of ancient scripture often contrasted one idea in one line or stanza with an opposite or an antithetical idea in a parallel line or stanza. Proverbs 13:9 records an example of antithetical parallelism. The light of the righteous rejoiceth, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. Notice that the contrasted elements, righteous, wicked, are not simple contradictions, but they are opposite aspects of the same idea. The Book of Mormon contains many fine examples of antithetical parallelisms. Alma, in his great discourse to the saints of Zarahemla, utilized this poetic form. His words are brief, yet conclusive. Whatsoever is good cometh from God, and whatsoever is evil cometh from the devil. Alma 5:40. Note the italicized antonyms. He italicizes good, God, and then evil, devil. Two words epitomize the perfect contrast, good and evil. And two beings are also considered opposite extremes. Alma's method of contrast establishes this opposition in the plainest of terms. A second example of extended antithetical parallelism is found in Alma 9:28. If they have been righteous, they shall reap the salvation of their souls, according to the power and deliverance of Jesus Christ. And if they have been evil, they will reap the damnation of their souls, according to the power and captivation of the devil. In the first strophe, the words righteous, salvation, deliverance, and Jesus Christ stand in direct contrast to the terms of the second strophe, evil, damnation, captivation, and devil. Both of these strophes begin with an if statement, immediately followed by the results that come from righteousness or evil. The sides are clearly drawn between good and evil. Antithetical parallelism not only contrasts two ideas, but also connects them together. The meaning of the contrasted items separates them clearly, but the parallelistic format joins them so that the reader must consider them together. One purpose of this poetic form is to allow, perhaps even force, the reader to make a mental comparison, and often a choice, between two diametrically opposed but related ideas. Whether consciously or intuitively, the reader sees the antithetical parallelism a unique reciprocity as well as a strong contrast between two elements. Again, another Book of Mormon verse illustrates this when Alma speaks to his son Helaman. Yea, I say unto you, my son, that there could be nothing so exquisite and so bitter as were my pains. Yea, and again I say unto you, my son, that on the other hand, there can be nothing so exquisite and sweet as was my joy. In this verse, Alma obviously is telling Helaman, he's intending the phrasing, the issue in this bold way to push his son to side mentally with and feel an affinity with righteousness rather than evil. It's a very powerful technique used to teach. In such a teaching situation, antithetical parallelism has the ability to produce an emotional response in the original audience and also in subsequent readers that leads them to follow these teachings. Comparisons between the terms has always been an accepted tool of rhetoricians to invoke the reader's involvement. As Aristotle wrote, this kind of style is pleasing, because contraries are easily understood, and even more so when placed side by side, and also because antithesis resembles a syllogism, for refutation is a bringing together of contraries. Recognizing this antithetical parallelism structure can help us see more clearly the issues that the writers in the Book of Mormon themselves wanted us to see the comparison and contrasts with. They're helping us focus on these, appreciating the connections and contrasts between the ideas that they felt were most important may lead us to feel as they did and act as they admonish us to act. That's on pages 167, 168, and 169. Once again, because there are no modern paragraphing, there's no modern chapters or whatever, in order to get the force of the idea out, the Book of Mormon writers had to use ancient literary techniques. Antithetical parallelism is another one of those very interesting, powerful techniques which are employed throughout the Book of Mormon record in teaching situations. To say that the Book of Mormon has no value, to say that it has less and less importance in our day, to say that it has no archaeological, historical, linguistic, literary power behind it or proof, that argument is simply false.